Hi, my name is Courtney Terry, and this is Arts Alive, brought to you by the Arts Alliance of Yamhill County. My guest today is Ray Massini. He is a visual artist here in McMinnville, but you will be participating in the Art Harvest Studio Tour, which is happening end of September, October, and you had mentioned that you will be showcasing your art in a Newburgh location.
Yeah, it's a friend of ours. She has a studio in Newburgh on Sherman Street, and so my partner and I will both be there.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And it's your first year doing
It
Art
is.
Harvest,
Yes.
which is so exciting. Tell me a bit more about the art that you do.
I do a lot of different styles of art. I do some abstract art with acrylic. I also do watercolor. I work with alcohol ink and India ink. And I do a little bit of realism with oil paint.
Oh, that's so cool. And I believe that we have a short video for that we will show now that also is just another fabulous look at what you do.
Of what I do.
Rad.
Yeah.
All right. I love all the darkness that you use and kind of that perspective with
Thank
it.
you.
Like it very much looks like I've been on streets like that where you're looking through and the light is
Very familiar.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just also that, mystery that's added to it. That's a cool car.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a commission piece.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
Which is like, I feel like, was the commission piece of the car like kind of out of your realm of normal things and you're just like, I'm gonna see if I can do this?
No, not really. Actually, I had a show a summer or so ago, and my series was kind of dark parking lots and classic cars, and so someone came to the show and actually commissioned me to do that car as a surprise for her husband, because that's his race car.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. And so the pieces that we've seen, are some of those going to be on display at the Art Harvest Tour? Or those, well, maybe not the commission pieces, but...
Maybe a couple of them, yeah. Cool. The very first piece was actually, went to an art collector in Pennsylvania, so it's
Neat.
Sold and gone.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And I guess why the dark cityscapes? Is that kind of, did you grow up in a city, or was that?
I didn't. I actually grew up in very rural Pennsylvania. And I've kind of dealt with depression my entire life, and I found this kind of safe place in dark streets and architecture, and I would put on music and just go walk around city streets and look at architecture, and that's kind of my inspiration.
Yeah.
My safe place.
And it's, there's so, I felt like your art, there was kind of this, like loneliness and solitude.
Yeah.
Even though you are in a bustling city, like on the dark street,
Yeah.
like I got the feeling of being the only one around, which...
I like to say it's beautiful sadness.
Yeah.
So you're kind of in the moment, and there is beauty there.
Yes. Well, you always have to. Like, that's the whole thing of like...
Yeah. You have to have balance.
You have to have balance. You can't have darkness without light.
Right.
I mean, I like the darkness myself personally. But and so how, the process for getting an Art Harvest, was it, did you have pieces, and then once you decided to do this, were you like, I need to make more just for this show? And it went that way. Like, how does your creative process work when it comes to new paintings?
Oh, very different. I can get inspired by something and want to go into and create a painting or a whole series, or I'm asked to do a show, mm-hmm. and to get prepared for it, and then a whole show will come to me, and I'll create a whole series of paintings to do that.
And is there a theme or a show for the location you'll have for Art Harvest that you had to work with? Or do you just get to be you?
Oh, I'll always just be me.
Fair enough, sorry, fair enough.
But I kind of plan on, I've ventured into this new abstract, India ink abstract. So I've done a number of them. And so I plan on having a number of those pieces for the Art Harvest Studio Tour.
And was that the one with the man with the ravens? Or
They're actually not on here.
Oh, wait. Oh,
The
okay.
the Man with the Ravens is sold, and that was graphite and ink.
Oh, okay.
This is something completely different that's actually not on the video.
And so with India ink, it's like is basic level art
Yeah.
knowledge here, but is that the kind that's used for like clothing dye as well, or is that like when you're doing like like it comes in the bottle and
You can use it for clothing,
Okay, that's right.
but India ink is a lot of times it was used for tattoo ink initially.
red?
And so now there are different, and it's basically always been black India ink, but now there are color.
Nice.
It's very highly pigmented ink, and it's water-based ink.
Oh.
Yeah.
And doing a lot of like the fantastic like acrylic abstract work, like was there a big learning curve to kind of go from, which I guess since you do so many different types of art, like what is the learning curve like for you when you want to try something different or?
Yeah, I kind of think of myself as an experience junkie, so I get inspired by something and I'm like, let me just try this, and I'll go and try it. So for me, I started with India ink stippling, which is very detailed little dots, and I wanted to break into abstract. So it was a very big challenge for me to just let go of the precise, perfection as part of me, and just let go and just let it flow and be an abstract artist. So it was challenging.
Yeah, but I would also like incredibly liberating.
Now.
Now, I know maybe the first few
Yeah,
times.
now. Yeah.
And so how long have you been creating art for?
I've been doing art my whole life. I'm self-taught. I haven't had any art classes or anything like that, but I've really been focusing on my art for the last probably 4 or 5 years. I was in real estate for 10 years, and I put myself financially in a position where I can actually focus on my art. And that's kind of panned out for me so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in the first Art Harvest Studio Tour,
Yeah.
which we will say, so Art Harvest Studio Tour will be, it's the last weekend in September and the second weekend, so it'll be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, September 30th to October 2nd, and then the weekend after that. Yep, October 9th, 7th through 9th.
Yeah.
And so you'll be there in the studio.
Yes.
Do you plan to be there just kind of the whole time, all day, and just, or maybe once in a while, like let people come
We'll
in?
probably be there, the
Look
whole
for
time.
yourself. What are some of your favorite experiences when people are coming in and looking at your art? Like I feel like you could be partially terrified that someone's going to come in and be like, "Oh, that reminds me of my grandma, da da da," and you're like, "That is not what I interpreted as that." Like
Right.
I'm so curious.
I could do that, really? But did you? I don't think you did.
Did you?
Yeah. No, what's really interesting about it is that when I create something, a lot of times I'll listen to the same song over and over and over again. And so that sometimes becomes the title of the piece. But it's really interesting to have people interpret my art and tell me what they feel when they look at it. And a lot of times it's not at all what I think when I'm creating it. So it's really a kind of a fun process to meet people and listen to what they think about it.
Yeah, well, and especially, going into it and just that change of perspective, and, you can discover things about your art when somebody comes in and has
Absolutely.
a totally different view of it than you had even been thinking.
Absolutely. There was this one painting that I did, and I call it sea glass because it looks like sea glass on the beach. And I probably did it 2 years, and then a woman came and she saw it at the show, and she said, "Oh my God, there's 2 people kissing in this painting," and I never saw it until she pointed it out.
A little bit of like Rorschach test happening.
Yeah.
That's so cool. And then, where was I going with that?
She didn't buy the painting, by the way. So
She did.
No, but she did point that out, which was really cool.
May I ask what music you listen to? Is there like, can you think of a few specific, like, I'm very curious.
Oh, absolutely. I used to be a singer in a very hard rock band when I was young, but I now listen to some pop country.
Okay.
I listen to some jazz.
Okay.
Love Sade. Some pop I listen to a lot of different music. I'm not really into rap,
Fair enough.
but I listen to pretty much anything else.
Okay. I want artists, like specifically.
Oh, goodness.
Taylor Swift?
I don't own any of her music, but I appreciate her as an artist because I think she's really talented.
She's doing her
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Sorry, I put you on the spot of like,
That's okay. No,
you
like-
need to give me the
Yeah,
exact
no,
song.
like country artists, I love Luke Bryan. I think he has a good message. He's very positive
Yeah.
for country. So, and I've already said I like Sade, Vince Guaraldi for jazz piano. It's one of my favorites. So, but I also listen to a lot of electronic music. There's Glass Animals, which is really great. And, yeah. And Cannons is one of my favorites lately.
Okay.
Female singer, kind of a little 70s tip.
Yes.
Yeah, very good. So I listen to a lot of different stuff.
And do you feel like when you're using music, is it kind of this is the type of art I want to create, I need to listen to something that'll get me there? Or is it like, I'm going to listen to this song and see where the music takes me? Or a little bit of both?
It's not even intentional for me. It's more about my mood in the moment. So I go in my studio and I'll put on something that matches my mood, and then I'll start creating, and then it'll click. Normally, it'll click, and so then I'll usually put that song on repeat and just kind of go from there. And it keeps me in the moment and in that emotion.
That makes me very happy to hear. I am also I'm going to put this song on repeat and listen to it until my feelings are,
Right.
my needs have been met, my
Yeah.
musical needs have been met. And just, also having that kind of song repetition, it kind of keeps you in that same loop. It makes you like the most hated person in the carpool. But for for artistic
that's
information,
what earbuds are for. It's just like, I'm on my own here. Yeah.
Dancing by myself,
Yeah.
like no one's watching. It's fine. Painting like nobody's watching.
Totally, right.
But that's so great. And so you will be. And so tell us again which studio in Newburgh will you be showing at?
It's the Studio 306 on East Sherman Street. It's 306 East Sherman Street. Her name is Marion McMuldren.
Okay.
She has a couple of, the studio is called the Studio 306. Her art line is called Art with Elegance.
Neat.
And so she's a block from the Chehalem Cultural Center.
Oh, cool.
And like 2 blocks off of the main drag in downtown Newburgh.
Yes, which the Chehalem Cultural Center is also participating, so that'll make it
Yes.
a really easy.
Oh, yeah.
I love that you can just kind of get the button and be able to kind of just walk around into all the different
Yeah,
places.
we do too. And there's numerous artists in her studio. Myself,
that'd be
my partner,
cool.
Liz Thoresen, and a couple other folks, and Marion herself.
Yay!
She's a jewelry maker and a painter.
Oh, that'll be so cool.
Yeah.
So, for the folks at home, I will say, you can go online to artharveststudiotour.org, and there'll be a listing of all the different locations, all the different artists. And then the week, like leading up to those Art Harvest weekends, you'll want to, you can purchase a button, which is a pass that gets you into all the places. Or I believe there may be like a pay as you go, like per studio option, but honestly, get the button.
Yeah.
It is worth it.
Yes.
They'll have the locations where you can buy those buttons, and you can head over to Newburgh and see Ray's art in the studio
me.
there.
I'll
and
be
you!
there too.
You can ask the questions to you directly.
Yes, and we'll have wine, and it'll be great.
Oh, even better.
Yes.
You can't talk about art with wine, honestly.
Right,
I mean, you
exactly.
can. You absolutely can, but
Well, you can, but
Yes.
why would you?
thank you. Ray, thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming and speaking with me about
Yeah.
your art. I'm so excited for you to start your Art Harvest Tour journey. And hopefully this will be many years to come. But
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for your time today.
Thanks, it's been fun.
Awesome. So this is Courtney Terry, and this has been Arts Alive. Have a great day.